From a brilliant Senate debate to a battle in the house the Cardinals built, and the roof is open for only the 5th time in Bruce Arians' 3 years on the sideline for the Cardinals, who have won the toss and won the football, and Blair Walsh is going to send it down to Kerwin Williams to get this game started. An important game in the NFC playoff picture. And here we go with Walsh's kick flying all the way through and beyond the back of the end zone, bringing out Carson Palmer. And this highest scoring offense in the NFL, and all the magical things Palmer has done this year. 29 touchdown passes. Kurt Warner has the Cardinal single season record of 30. Strong chance tonight that you'll see that matched or even broken, as Palmer and all these wins he's amassed, Phil, over the last 2 years, what he did last year before he got hurt, what he's done directing this offense this year.
Yes, what he's done. Short week, you think, well, they'll cut back in the game plan. Carson Palmer said no such thing. Like his coach, aggressive, got all the plays in the game plan ready.
It's a quick reception over to Fitzgerald, his 1,001st catch. And it picks up 5.
Really interesting, you see, get Larry Fitzgerald involved in the game early. They throw him most of the screens, and we're going to see tonight, Jim, probably the best blocking wide receiver in the NFL right now. Goes inside, blocks inside the tackles, and of course does a good job outside there when he needs to also.
Fitzgerald, who grew up in Minneapolis and was a longtime Viking ball boy. All around that organization back in the Denny Green days. Here's the handoff to David Johnson, and the rookie from Northern Iowa has 3. It's going to be 3rd and 2 on the way. Robinson on the tackle for the Vikings. And Bruce Arians already with a 10-win season, which he's had at least 10 wins now in each of the first 3 years.
Difference between this team this year and the team that we saw last year that got off to a great start and lost Carson Palmer. They're deeper, they have more depth, and they have more speed on both sides of the football.
Arians' team again clinches a playoff berth with a victory, and could even by Sunday clinch the division. Here's the 3rd and 2 for them. And Palmer looks for a second option. The pass is pulled down by Fells for the first. He battled for it against Tom Johnson. Actually, Johnson was rushing after the quarterback, and Fells just beat the defender here.
He beats Xavier Rhodes. Carson Palmer looked to his right, didn't like what he saw. He did not get the football out there with the power that he hoped to. And what a good job by the tight end. Fells just going up and taking it away from Rhodes.
Sure, every Cardinal fan gets a little nervous when Palmer gets hit somewhere in the knee area after he's had those twice now ACL injuries to contend with in his career. Here's a first down handoff to Johnson off the right side, and we'll chalk him up for 3.
Well, you talked about it in the opening, Jim. You talk about this Minnesota defense. They lost really their best player at each level. The defensive lineman, Joseph, Anthony Barr, the linebacker, and then Harrison Smith, the safety. What do you want to do? Mike Zimmer calls the plays. He wants to control it. He loved probably that first 3 plays. It took him 3 plays to get the first down, slow the game down, even on the defensive side. Make Arizona make a lot of plays to get down and score.
John Brown comes in as a 3rd receiver and unloading it just in time over to David Johnson, who slips through a tackle. And he has the football all the way to the Minnesota. No, he was out of bounds, they're going to say. And Johnson's looking back and realizing now that it's not as big a game as he thought. He's going to go for 10.
Well, from the outside, Kendricks comes free. Nobody blocks him, but Carson Palmer knew right away, if there's a blitz to my left, I got to get rid of it quickly to the running back. And this is not a team that keeps guys in to protect the quarterback. They send them out. It's up to Carson Palmer to decide where to throw it, and throw a lot of footballs under pressure.
So out of bounds at the 48, still a first down. As the Cardinals have a flag down the field, and Palmer's throw, diving attempt at the catch, and another flag in that area. They give the catch to Michael Floyd, but we got 2 different issues to contend with here with the penalty markers. Play went for 19.
Well, some catch by Michael Floyd. When you look at these Cardinal receivers, they have 2 big ones in Michael Floyd, Larry Fitzgerald, and then tremendous speed with the other 2. John Brown and J.J. Nelson.
There are 2 fouls on the defense. Offside, defense number 97 lines up in the neutral zone. Also, prior to the pass, holding defense number 29. Both penalties are declined. Is on the play. First down.
So they'll take the 19-yard catch by Floyd.
Well, the good thing is, does he catch it? Hands. Looks like he kept control of the football, even though the football hit the ground. So he's got control. Never loses control. I think it's a completion.
Yeah, we like that as a catch. Clear control before the ball hit the ground, and the ball did not move substantially.
That's Mike Carey explaining that as Palmer now tries to go with a screen pass, and the Vikings read it this time. David Johnson is backed up. He's hit first by Greenway. And it sets him back 4 yards. Mike Zimmer, of course, longtime specialty defense coordinator down in Dallas. Off to Atlanta for a year, then on to Cincinnati. Longtime assistant, just like Arians. He just never got that chance. People didn't think head coaching, I don't know, for whatever reason. And both of these guys have excelled now once they've been given the chance.
Well, they've done this. They've showed everybody what they can do, and there's a lot of teams that regret not hiring either one of them. Mike Zimmer trying to find a way for a beat-up football team to slow the game down.
Palmer's pass to Fitzgerald, who reaches up and snags it at the 20-yard line. A gain of 17 and another first.
On the top of your screen, going against the rookie, Trey Waynes. Oh, nice job of sailing it outside. Waynes thinks he's going to make the move. He makes the sharp cut in anticipation, which Carson Palmer has a lot of. And throwing it down the field, he's aggressive, takes chances, and you see receivers like Larry Fitzgerald make the play.
Palmer 6 out of 6 on this opening drive that has gone now from their own 20 to the Vikings 20. Handoff up the middle. Johnson butts heads and takes it for 5. Here's David Johnson. He got a chance to start for the first time at St. Louis. Picked up 99 yards last week on 22 carries. Caught a couple of balls, including a touchdown. His 9 total touchdowns. That's 4 on the ground, 4 by receiving, and he had a kick return as well.
Well, he's, I guess, the best word for him. And Bruce Arians talked about him. He's smooth. He can make the sideways cuts. And you know Matt Forte in Chicago. Everybody knows that name. That said, he said that's who he reminds him of, so that's a pretty big compliment.
And they're going to go to him again on 2nd and 5. He's going to deliver a first down just inside the 10. I mentioned the 4, 4, and 1 in his 9 touchdowns. The only other rookie to do so, 4 on the ground, 4 receiving, 1 kick return, the great Gale Sayers.
Pretty good company. He's kept himself in, and we saw that last run. Why was it important right up the middle? Because who we missing inside? We talked about it. Linval Joseph, one of the best interior defensive linemen in the NFL, can stop the run, could get to the quarterback, protect the linebackers. That's what they miss with him out of the game.
The timeout's called by Palmer with just a second on the play clock, as they have moved it down the field. A drive that's taken over 6 minutes. And again, Palmer has not missed on a throw so far, going against a secondary that has been completely, not just patchwork, but having to shuffle players into positions they're really not all that accustomed to playing. I mean, Terrence Newman is a 13-year veteran, but he goes from corner to safety, and that's just the start of things.
Well, you know, listen, that's not necessarily a bad thing, Terrence Newman going back to safety, because he can get back there and at least tell everybody where to line up, which is a big problem. That list, that's long, and that's a lot of good players. But, Jim, that's what separates these two teams. In the NFL, you need depth. So when somebody's hurt, you got to have another guy to step in. And Minnesota is not there yet with their football team. They don't have great depth, so every injury is a big deal.
4 wides on 1st and goal at the 9. They're on Palmer right away, so he has to get rid of it. And that is Jerron Brown. And did the ball at the end pop out? They've got him ruled down, gain of 2.
You can see what they do on the offensive side. Was he down before the football came out?
Ooh.
It's close. It was not ruled a fumble. I'm sure Mike Zimmer is going to challenge, and he already has.
Yeah, he's got to challenge that. And they had to verify that someone fell on it, or at least got the football after the ball came out, and Kenrick Ellis had it for the Vikings. So it's going to be challenged. Gene
Minnesota's
Steratore crew will look at
on
it.
the field of down by contact. Timeout.
Javon Brown fighting for yardage. That's Munnerlyn, who stripped it out of his hands, and Ellis, who recovered it. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Tostitos Chips and Dips. Bring the party. And by Hyundai, an official sponsor of the NFL. This is going to be a very close call here on the challenge, because the elbow is down. The ball is just starting to move.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. The second down and goal, Arizona. Minnesota is charged with their first time out of the half. The clock will start.
Take us through it, Mike Carey.
And here's why it stands. The ball has to clearly be out before that elbow hits. The ball starts to move, but you can still see his hand clearly on it, but you can't tell if it is loose from his possession. A good call on the field and a good stands in replay.
That's right. The ball can move, and you can still have possession, of course, just the way the hitting goes. And, of course, slow motion replay saved it for the Cardinals.
Second and goal. 3 receivers to the right, and they're going that way. And John Brown is pile driven down by Captain Munnerlyn.
Really good job. Watch number 24 read it so fast, gets outside and makes the tackle, plays the extra defensive back, Captain Munnerlyn. And it must be the big part of the game plan, Jim, because I'm going to say that's at least 5 screens, 4 or 5 we've seen here in the opening drive. But it looked like confusion by the wide receivers. Michael Floyd went down the field and did not block anybody on that screen.
Teddy Bridgewater and Adrian Peterson waiting for their chance. Third and goal. Palmer from the pocket with time, throws, and it was dropped. David Johnson unable to hold on to it.
It took a long time, and the fact that it took so long is why David Johnson, he's stumbling a little bit, trying to get away from Chad Greenway, but Carson Palmer knew the time was up. He threw the football probably a little too hard for Johnson being so close. Didn't give him a chance to make the adjustment.
Chandler Catanzaro from 27 yards. 22 of 24 on the year. He takes it dead center. That's a long drive. Took up half the quarter, but they only get 3. Palmer was 8 out of 9 on that opening series. Sunday at 9 on NFL Network, LaShawn McCoy sits down to discuss the Bills' playoff chances. Opens up about his return to Philly this weekend. NFL Game Day morning live Sunday at 9, only on NFL Network. Been a lot of talk about McCoy and Kelly, and well, they shake hands, and McCoy says no, and Kelly says he understands there's got to be an upset player there at McCoy.
Time to heal things, Jim. Over time, they'll both get over it, or he will, and he'll shake Chip Kelly's hand.
Patterson, no chance to return that one. Catanzaro delivers the touchback. Now we'll check out the Vikings offense for the first time tonight when we come back. Tonight's Next Gen Stats brought to you by Go 90. Watch the NFL on the go with Go 90. Go 90 to watch, cut, and share all the awesome. Jim Nanceville Sims along with Tracy Wolfson tonight. Mike Carey up in the booth as well. And here come the Vikings. Their first snap of the game. And a handoff it is to Peterson for 4. Brought down by Matthew, and Teddy Bridgewater hasn't done a touchdown the last couple of weeks. Phil, the last pick in the first round a year ago, but look, his record 14-10, done a lot of good things. He just hasn't had a lot of time to throw the football this year.
Well, they're struggling on the offensive line, no doubt about it. They're having a very hard time getting the football down the field. The way you get over some of those problems, you run the football with Adrian Peterson. That was a good first run.
He's going to get a second run here. He gets pushed back, reached about the 27. We'll give him 3. Last week, the way the game broke, Seattle jumped on him, beat him 38-7 up at Minnesota's place. And Peterson ended up 8 carries, 18 yards, and it was a lot of disappointment expressed after the game for the limited touches.
Well, you know, look, you want to get the football to maybe the best player on your football team, but when you're losing by big numbers, you got to throw it to try to win. But we met Adrian Peterson last night, very determined, and what helps your run game is a situation like this. You got to pick up 3rd and short so you can bring your star running back in to keep him in rhythm.
Yep, it's 3rd and 3. Asiata gets the pass out of the backfield. He's got all kinds of room, and he reaches the 50, a 23-yard pickup.
Nobody had Asiata out of the Barry Minter on the blitz. It's picked up. Nobody's in coverage. And Teddy Bridgewater said to us last night, Tuesday after practice, he was like, gosh, we need to do it again, because he saw so much blitzing that they were expecting from Arizona. Didn't feel comfortable. But boy, that was a good start against the blitz.
A fake on first down, go play action. And are able to get the ball into the hands of Jarius Wright.
Well, they love this play.
Goes for 11 and another first.
Teddy Bridgewater, we talked about it. They struggle with the offensive line, so that's why you see such good numbers. There's so many throws, 10 yards or less. Great success. Need time to throw it down the field.
Here's Peterson on first down. Look at that speed up the middle, that burst. All the way to the 18 and a 21-yard run by AP.
Well, we're not second-guessing or anything here. We talked last night, and Adrian Peterson, the look in his eye, how stern he was. I said, are you going to take this out on some defenders? He said, yes. But what blocking on the right side? Michael Harris has done a good job of opening up holes for Adrian Peterson so far this year. And that time, Berger, the center, good job.
Got more on that run than he did all last week. And here's another first down throw, and it goes to Kyle Rudolph. And he's going to be about a yard shy of another for 2nd and 1 coming up.
Well, this is what they do well. You know, the run, the play actions off of it, keep the defense off guard. And I'll tell you this, you notice there's like a tempo and a pace to this offense. And, you know, I think I'm stating it right when I think the coaches for the Minnesota Vikings are worried about their young quarterback. Is he losing a little confidence? Well, those plays and that start will get you confident as a quarterback.
2nd and 1 from the 9. And that's Peterson. Look at the wiggle. What a run! Peterson to the end zone for the touchdown. A little shake and bake past Tyrann Mathieu, and that's his 100th career touchdown.
Well, he said, I'm going to be pretty fresh tonight. That's what he said last night. He says, I carried it so little last week. And, of course, his determination and pride. 1 side cut, 2. So he went left, and back to the right, broke tackles. Not only did he have a great series, the offensive line, a lot of credit. Worried about the blitz. They got Arizona worried about the run game.
And Walsh with the extra point. Good series of play calling, too, by the coordinator, Norv Turner. Adrian Peterson finds the end zone for the 100th time in his decorated career. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by the makers of the all-new TiVo Bolt, the unified entertainment system. And by Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry. Come in today for the one piece of jewelry that will take her breath away. And these views, particularly when you're up there in that Nirvana paramotor, they'll take your breath too. And that's our own technical director, Mike Tiffey. They're cruising along. Yeah. Impressive was that, as well as what we just saw from the Vikings and Adrian Peterson. We got another touchback here, 7-3 Vikings. Taking it 80 yards in 7 plays on their first possession. Back for the Cardinals, second series. Palmer completed 8 passes on the first drive. That's the most completions he's ever had on an opening drive in his entire career. Hit 6 different targets. Begins it with a handoff to the right side to Johnson. Breaks 1 tackle and then gets tripped up after a gain of 6. Terrence Newman on the final hit. Let's go down to Tracy.
Well, thanks a lot, Jim. Whether they have 3 days to prepare or 6 days to prepare, Bruce Arians will still have over 175 plays drawn up. And Carson Palmer told us it is extremely hard to prepare for and to cram in just this short week. Arians will script the first 15 run plays, and Palmer gets to choose the first 15 pass plays. And Arians said Palmer has earned that right. He fully understands the offense now. Jim?
Well, here's a 2nd and 4 running play that would have been in that batch of opening possibilities. It went for only 1. But Palmer, who of course goes back to Cincinnati to start his career, on to Oakland, was disenchanted with the game, but man, has he found his stride here in the desert.
Well, he said it right. It's a dream offense for him. And what he means by that, they try to throw it deep down the field. That's what he is. He can stand in there, like I've said, with anybody in the league. Very few teams take as deep a drops as Carson Palmer and throw it down the field as much as they do here in Arizona.
And in the prominent talk, in the chatter about MVP with the year he's having. 3rd and 3, and he's going to get the first down to John Brown at the 35, a gain of 8.
Well, John Brown, how'd you like to have him? You know, we talked about the big receivers, Fitzgerald and Floyd. Now you have John Brown, and I think a lot of people agree, the fastest guy on the Arizona Cardinals. And just a great compliment to the other core guys. So Carson Palmer looking short on most of the throws so far here tonight.
John Brown, a longtime pal of Teddy Bridgewater. They actually even trained together during the offseason down in South Florida. On a new set of downs, the pass is broken up by Rhodes. Taking it away, the chance for Floyd to pull it down. Next Thursday, only on NFL Network. The Bucs will try to continue the chase for a wild card spot. They take on the Rams, and then on Saturday night, a special Saturday edition of Thursday Night Football, if you will, the Jets and the Cowboys will be there for that one. The Jets currently in that 6th spot over in the AFC, and the Cowboys in that crazy NFC East at 4-8, just a game back of the division lead. They're coming after Palmer, who steps away from the heat, and on the run he finds John Brown. Gets out of a tackle from Munderland, and he's going to take it to the end zone for the touchdown. There was the speed you talked about. 65 yards to John Brown.
But the good thing is, or the great thing, Carson Palmer, excellent movement in the pocket. He felt the pressure, he stepped up to move, and he is awesome at doing this. Watch him. Here comes the pressure from his right, our left. It's Robinson, and John Brown broke his route, and Captain Munderland couldn't adjust with him. And you're right, the speed, it's undeniable. I've watched him the last 3 or 4 weeks just run past defenders just with pure speed, even though they're expecting him to go deep.
And that tied the Cardinals' single-season touchdown pass mark of 30, first set by Kurt Warner. And just a momentary stoppage of play, waiting for the confirmation upstairs that he never tiptoed out of bounds, and the touchdown is a go. And now the extra point attempt is on its way with Catanzaro. Snap, but well handled there by Drew Butler. And the Cardinals answer back off the Vikings touchdown. Put in the hands of the speedster out of Pittsburgh State, drafted in the 3rd round a year ago. 65 yards. Tonight's Skycam is being presented by Mazda. We've had 17 points put on the board here in the last 5 minutes and 40 seconds. Palmer with touchdown pass number 30. Kurt Warner in that season of 2008. Had a 30 touchdown year.
Well, they got tired of all the short passes, so Carson Palmer looked down the field. Great design and a tremendous route by John Brown.
And that season, of course, Bob Warner was a Super Bowl year for them. Came down to the wire against the Steelers. Patterson, he is wrapped up in a bear hug. And brought down at about the 23-yard line.
I thought it was a broken route, and then I realized I got to see the replay. He runs like that, John Brown, and look how long this takes. They think they got the perfect defense. Munnerlyn says, I'm in great position. He's going across the field, and he bends it out so fast and quick and seamless. You know, didn't have to stop, slow down. Then Captain Munnerlyn had a chance to maybe catch him, but doesn't get there.
As Zimmer gave Munnerlyn a little word coming to the sideline as they hand it off to Peterson for a gain of 1.
Well, what an opening series by Adrian Peterson. Look at the run blocking. Berger, the center. Harris, the right guard, and he makes people miss. You know, you think about him, as I watch him a lot, he breaks tackles to get long runs, but tonight, so quick, so fresh, making it happen.
Well, they set him out as a receiver, and that was over the head of Diggs.
Well, we saw something, Patrick Peterson on Stephon Diggs. That's going to be a matchup. I think the one receiver that Arizona looks at and says, oh, who are we scared of? It is Diggs. Been a little slow of late. We've talked about it, why it has been that way.
Well, Diggs is second among all rookie receivers in receiving yardage. Second to Amari Cooper of the Raiders. 3rd and 9. And it's over the right. Got blockers in front, but not going to be able to get to the first down yardage as Campbell makes an impressive play. Calais Campbell holds him to 6.
It's what you do. Defensive linemen have to hustle once they see it's a screen, whether it's inside or outside. And Calais Campbell saw it, read it, kept hustling and made the tackle.
Jeff Locke, 3rd year from UCLA, and Patrick Peterson. Dangerous returner awaits. Although so far this year, Peterson's longest return is 38. He's been outstanding in his 5 years. Has to take the fair catch on this occasion. 42-yard punt. And let's look at next-gen stats presented by Go90. Little depth perception. Targets over 10 yards last week. You see, Bridgewater had 6 throws. That's all that went at least 10 yards. Palmer had 22 passes down the field.
Well, it's the philosophy of the Arizona Cardinals. That's why you see so many throws deep down the field. And let's listen, I watched the Seattle game. Teddy Bridgewater, it's a good thing he only tried 6. If he'd have tried more, he probably wouldn't be playing tonight. Took a lot of hits, didn't have time to find people open down the field.
Hand off on 1st down. And Johnson gets to about the 32. Gain of 4. As we run down time here in the first quarter. Exciting start to the game here, with the Cardinals leading at 10-7 after 1. We'll return to Glendale after these messages. You're watching Thursday Night Football. Started the second quarter back here at the University of Phoenix Stadium, as Palmer has completed 8 of his first 10, including the touchdown pass.
Well, that touchdown he threw to John Brown, that'll change the way the Minnesota Vikings play defense a little. I think Mike Zimmer was worried about playing man-to-man coverage. He did it. Captain Munnerlyn got beat. Now they're in a deep zone.
And there's Fitzgerald with his 3rd grab of the game. Out to the 40 and another first.
Boy, Larry Fitzgerald, we've talked about his role. He's in the slot, goes across. But the difference is there's 2 safeties back there now to help out these defensive backs if they do get away, if the receiver does get away. And Fitzgerald, the role, so unique. He loves it. He's bought into it. And he told us, he goes, man, I love going in there and blocking and getting down and dirty. You don't hear that too often from a wide receiver.
Putting up some of the best numbers of his career at the age of 32, and that pass was headed in the direction of David Johnson. Larry Fitzgerald went to high school in Minneapolis at the Academy of the Holy Angels, and his father, a longtime journalist up there in Minneapolis, and his son got the chance to be a ball boy and hang out with the Vikings. Purple was his color. Hundreds and hundreds of practices he was around this team. Still has a home up there. Gets back a couple of months a year to Minnesota. Proud of his recent achievement of 1,000 career catches, but more proud of the fact he's about to graduate from college. Here's Johnson spinning, and that move picked up an extra 3 before it was ended by Greenway. So Fitzgerald promised his mother that one day, she said, you have to promise me one thing. Lost his mother when he was young. You got to promise me you're going to graduate from college. So he's been taking classes on the internet at the University of Phoenix online.
Right.
And he's down to one class, down to a couple of weeks to go. He's thrilled about it. In his graduation ceremony, he's going to walk right here inside this stadium in the spring. One of the class guys of the NFL. 3rd and 5. As Palmer's pass was headed toward Michael Floyd.
Big key for this Minnesota defense, and they come through that time. Trey Waynes, a rookie, getting his first start, playing against Michael Floyd man-to-man, and Mike Zimmer was really anxious to watch it, saying, hey, he can stay close to him, but he's got to realize in the pros, when you're close, the quarterback can still stick it in there. Good start for him.
That's Drew Butler. A lot of hang time, and that demands a fair catch by Sherrills back at the 10. 44-yard punt. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Fitbit. Find your fit. And by Lexus. Turn every ride into a thrill ride with the Lexus Performance line. You saw Patrick Peterson. He hosted an annual Shop with the Jock event Monday. Helped a bunch of kids have a very special night. A little help there, and assist by Tyrann Mathieu as well. And good for them for giving back.
Yeah, great job by them. Really good job, I think. Good start for this Minnesota offense. They were worried about their offensive line. They were worried about picking up the blitz. They've done that pretty well. Now can they win some matchups outside so Teddy Bridgewater can get the football down the field?
Peterson again, blast up the middle for a 4-yard pickup. Kyle Rudolph, the Vikings tight end, is mic'd tonight. Let's check in.
Let's go! They don't want none of this. Let's go! Everybody's eating today, Will.
Rudolph in his 5th year out of Notre Dame. He leads the team in touchdown catches with 4. They had a catch on that touchdown drive in the first quarter. And taking it outside, sliding off some hits, and picking up, well, it's very close to the first. Yardage out to about the 21. Should have it. Peterson.
He looks exceptionally quick tonight. It's been a while since I've seen him in person, and so he has not slowed down, and you can see the power. How about Tyrann Mathieu, the little safety, number 32, gets out there and gets in the tackles. He plays a unique role for this defense. Every week it's different. Always worried about the game plan. What are they going to do with me? So he hated the short week because he says, I need more time to prepare for my role, whatever it's going to be.
They'll play action, trying to pass on first down, and they've got Bridgewater running. The play never having a chance to develop, and Marcus Golden helps run him out after 3.
Well, Teddy Bridgewater's movement has saved him this year quite a few times. As Norv Turner said to us last night, if he wasn't as mobile as he is, we would have about 20 more sacks. But it's Golden that gets in there. It's just a push of the pocket. It makes a quarterback uneasy. You can't really set your feet to look down the field. And there's Norv Turner. And once you take your eyes off receivers, you cannot relocate them.
2nd and 7. They bring it back to the other side to Red Ellison. And Ellison between 2 defenders keeps on motoring. And finally, at the 34-yard line, Buchanan ends the 41-yard play.
Well, they catch them. They're so aggressive. But watch Michael Harris, the right guard, how far he gets down the field. He releases. The football's thrown. That was close. He was, I'd say, close to 5 yards before the football was released. But when you play an aggressive defense, Norv Turner loves screens. And what else do you do? It wouldn't surprise me somewhere, because this defense goes after it so hard, to see a reverse.
That's Peterson, who picked up a blitz on that last play that really helped it develop. He's got 2 on this one, and this team has out-yardaged what they had a week ago against Seattle. We saw Peterson score his 100th touchdown in the first quarter, second among active players. To give you an idea, 100, that is the exact number that at the end of the careers, that's what Curtis Martin fell on, Franco Harris, their careers at 100 on the number. Talking about Hall of Famers. 2nd and 9 as Peterson comes to the near side and open in the middle of the field. That's Pruitt. Michael Pruitt with his 9th catch of the year, the rookie out of Southern Illinois.
Well, good job by Teddy Bridgewater throwing it underneath. The defense drops back. You see that glove on his hand. It makes him pretty tough sometimes, I think. It's amazing. He's done it his whole life. He controls the football on the short passes very well. But Dayon Buchanan, a linebacker, a defensive back, made a good tackle.
Here's Bridgewater. He was looking long, and then a little shovel pass to McKinnon. And he's got a first down. The Cardinals closed in on him. Picked up 8. Looked like it could go for a big gainer.
This is why you like Teddy Bridgewater as a quarterback. Why they have faith is the fact that he just has a pretty good feel, or a very good feel, on how to play the position. The play broke down, didn't panic, and found McKinnon to pick up the first down.
From the Cardinals 22. It's back to Peterson. And Campbell is on him, a yard behind the line. Pro Bowl balloting is your chance to have a say in who goes to Hawaii. It's the last weekend to vote to help send your favorite players to the game at NFL.com/Pro Bowl ballots. Peterson, the NFL's leading rusher, and no doubt he's going to find himself in Hawaii come season's end. Nine carries, 49 yards for AP. And here is Bridgewater again working the middle with right. The ball comes out, and Buchanan is right there to fall on it. The Vikings drive that started all the way back at their own 11 and was working in rhythm suddenly comes to a crashing halt as Jarius Wright had the football stripped by Buchanan, who then rolled over and made the recovery. Wright coughs it up. The Cardinals have their 23rd takeaway of the season. That's the 3rd most in the league.
Speed, that's what causes a lot of turnovers in the NFL, and we saw it this right, chases him, the speed to get there, and that speed makes hits, causes the ball to come out, and they got a lot of fast guys that can get there in a hurry to recover. And you said it, it's one of the reasons why they get all those turnovers. That's why Buchanan, a defensive back who's playing linebacker and does it well, and Teddy Bridgewater knows points. It's been rough for the offense. Off to a good start. They missed a great opportunity.
From the 15, Johnson off left tackle for a quick 7, brought down by Rhodes. Buchanan, who stripped it and recovered it, was the Cardinals. Oh boy, Rhodes is shaken up. Buchanan, just to finish that, was their first-round pick a year ago for Arizona. And this is the last thing Minnesota can afford right here with its secondary. So depleted already by injury. And the best they have left, Xavier Rhodes. Needs the training crew to look at that right arm. Xavier Rhodes trying to make the tackle here. Watch his teammate come in, Anthony Harris, and smash his right wrist. And it just goes limp. And now the first round pick for the Vikings out of Florida State back in 2013 is getting that right wrist examined on the sideline. They've got Robert Blanton back on the field.
They're going to miss him. He's the guy that can match up with the other team's best receiver. Since Mike Zimmer's been there the last 2 years, Rhodes' play has picked up dramatically. Much better now than he was his first year in the league.
It looks like Newman's back at corner, and Palmer is going to slide to pick up a couple.
Deep pass again down the field, but nobody's open. There is time for Carson Palmer to look. He keeps looking, and the last second moves. And, you know, look, I know he's what you would consider an older quarterback. Fitzgerald against Terrence Newman.
Again, Newman just after the injury to Rhodes moved back to his longtime position at corner. A little bit of an awkward slide there for Palmer. Thankfully, nothing came of it. He's going to drop back deep again and look across the middle, and he's going to find Fells in Viking territory at about the 47, and a gain of 26.
Fells going down the field, and as we've said many times, it's just how here he comes down the field, going across. Looked like a running formation. And you can see the linebackers watching the quarterback. Nobody saw Fells going behind. Every time you see Fitzgerald get near the tight ends of that, I know the defense, they think it's going to be a run. Not that time. Drop back throw.
Hand off here, and breaking a tackle and picking up another first is David Johnson. Johnson getting all of this action after the injuries in the backfield to Chris Johnson and Andre Ellington.
Well, that time you saw two good blocks by the tight ends. Troy Nicholas and Fells both got blocks, and that allowed Johnson to just take his time. And you know, for a rookie running back, what kind of sets it apart, he's just got patience. Look at the block, 85, Fells, nice job. And Johnson waited, slid outside, picked up big yards.
Kerwin Williams comes in, replacing Johnson for this play, and they give it to him. He had good numbers last week coming off the practice squad, and he bounces outside, and it's a real hard-earned 2. Let's get a report from Tracy.
Well, I was watching Xavier Rhodes on the sideline. He was in a lot of pain on that right wrist. They wrapped it up. You can tell he did not want to go to the locker room. He didn't want them to look at any further. He wants to be back out there, and there you see he's back out on the field, Jim.
Wow, how about that? Tape him up and let's go.
Well, that's what you want. I mean, he can deal with it. You can just tell by the body language he's thinks he's okay. We'll see how he does, especially he likes to use his hands. Will he be able to use them now after that big hit we saw to the right wrist?
He's on Michael Floyd at the top. Newman stays at corner on Larry Fitzgerald, and again it's Kerwin Williams for no gain this time. And tackled by Tom Johnson. Tomorrow at 9 on NFL Network. He's helped make Arizona one of the NFL's elite teams. Now take a special look inside the life of the Cardinals head coach, a football like Bruce Arians, tomorrow at 9 only on NFL Network. And it's a show. I don't want to give too much away, but my understanding is it begins not with a shot of Bruce Arians, but a shot of Phil Simms.
Which all shows should start with. But it is me talking about Bruce Arians when he was a coach with Peyton Manning as a rookie quarterback.
Oh, and the Vikings make a play all the way back at the 43, taking him out of field goal range. A loss of 7.
Well, that's Hunter coming out the outside, just gets around Massey, gets the edge. And that is something that, you know, we talked to the Viking players. They're excited about it, about rushing Carson Palmer. Why? Because he holds the ball, takes deep drops, and you just got a better chance of getting around that edge because of the depth of his drops.
Butler has to punt it. And it bounces into the end zone. Bethel was hoping to straddle it and make the play, but just a net of 20 on the punt. Vikings defense steps up, comes up with a well-timed sack, and it's still 10-7 Cardinals. Minnesota's first 3 possessions drove it to the end zone the first time. 3 and out, and then we're driving again before the fumble in the red zone by Wright. Peterson. 3 Cardinals meet him at the 21. Rashad Johnson, the safety of Arizona, is also mic'd up tonight.
Hell wrong with you? Touch me, man. Put your hands on me, man. Nice round, bro. Yeah. I thought you were going to sit down on me. Ain't nothing personal earlier. I was messing with you, dog. You know.
Having an ongoing conversation with Diggs. And Peterson somehow just went sideways with the body and went through a tiny crease for a gain of 6 and then ran over Johnson, we just heard from.
Well, it's just so fast, so violent. That's what he's doing tonight, just taking so little time to make the decision, and it is just violent running with the football. And if you go up high to tackle Adrian Peterson, look, you shook that hand last night. You can see him, the shape he's in, how strong he is. He will throw you to the side and keep on moving.
Talking about shaking his hand, that's one of the great handshakes you'll ever find.
Got a brace for it.
What a catch. Rudolph bounced out at the 45. Tony Jefferson was going for the pick, gain 17.
Tony Jefferson makes the mistake, goes underneath, doesn't keep that back arm there to make the tackle. He saw the play, but Teddy Bridgewater talked about it, an excellent short thrower of the football. He did it a lot in college. He knows how to find the outlet receiver and put it right on target for Rudolph.
Can they get another snap before the 2-minute warning? Are they aware of it? Not going to do it. They'll have 2 timeouts to play with.
He's watching the play clock, which does not sync up with the game clock.
Coming up, Lex's halftime report. JB Dion, Coach Cowher, break down the first half, behind the scenes look. The Pepsi Super Bowl halftime show, all the preparation. Coach Cowher texting and grinding away, getting ready for some halftime duties. Here's a 1st and 10 out of the 2-minute warning. Bridgewater steps up, man is there, and it's caught by Pruitt. As the Vikings suddenly strike for a big play to the 23 of Arizona. That's 32 more.
Well, it's good timing by Norm Turner. Gets the players going across the field, and Rudolph is going to come this way. So it's a play that he runs a lot. Likes it. It's a good way to get extra protection for Teddy Bridgewater and then get a matchup that he liked.
Bridgewater has hit his last 7 passes, and he's 10 out of 11 for 158. From the 23. And they're all over. Adrian Peterson, Campbell with the first contact, loss of 2.
Well, Calais Campbell, every time I see him make a tackle, I go, he's a big man. You can see that. The best run stopper they got. He plays with high energy. And the other thing is, very seldom, if all, comes out of the game. Some weeks, he plays every snap of defensive football, which is impressive for a guy his size.
You got Diggs at the bottom of the screen, their leading receiver, but he's been shut out tonight. Peterson is on him.
Spreading the field so Teddy Bridgewater can see the blitz, and if they do, he can get rid of the football quick.
Does right there, quick throw, and Matthew rides down right after 4 as we move inside of a minute to play in the second quarter.
Still 2 timeouts, plenty of time. And what you do here, of course, they're trying to score the touchdown, but also there's no rush, because if you do score, you want to leave as little time as possible for Carson Palmer and Bruce Arians.
And a look at the last 10 passes, and the last 8 of them, all connections. A 3rd and 7 as we approach the 30-second mark.
Well, I said there's no rush. I didn't say just completely stop.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised they were that slow to go, but here's a long throw with a flag out. We have not had a penalty this entire game We had flags on one play in the first quarter, but the penalties were refused because of the gain on the play. But this one is going to go in the books as the first penalty.
Prior to the pass, holding defense number 32. 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Call on Matthew, and now 21 seconds left. Ball at the 15.
Well, that play took so long to get going, and the motion and everything involved, that now time is a little bit of an issue. But Matthew, number 32, right at the line of scrimmage, makes great contact, just stays with Jarius Wright too long.
On the run and having to throw it away as Golden was giving chase. Bridgewater's second incompletion. We're down to 14 seconds. And again, the Lexus halftime report is coming up shortly with JB and Dion, Coach Cower. Coach Betcher, the D coordinator here for the Cardinals.
Yep, James Betcher took over for Todd Bowles, has done an excellent job and has kept up the blitzing. This team blitz as much as any in the league, 40%, 46% of the time. Looks like it's going to be one here.
2 timeouts for the Vikings. They can go middle of the field if they want. Pass wide of the mark for Diggs.
Well, they pick up the blitz. Excellent job, and Bridgewater just misses Diggs to the outside. Watch McKinnon come across, gets Golden. Plenty of time to throw the football, but being a little too careful.
And Golden is injured, and he's now up and able, under his own power, to make it to the Arizona sideline. Boy, there were a lot of really dire forecasts coming into this game about what Minnesota would be able to do after being blown out on Sunday by Seattle, the short week, the road game, all the injuries. Pretty strong first half effort.
Well, great effort. Mike Zimmer said we want to try to find a way to massage the game. In other words, you know, slow it down on both sides of the ball. They've kind of accomplished that. But it's a team that was embarrassed last week by Seattle, and we're seeing the result of the fact that they were embarrassed. They've come out, they've been emotional, and they've been physical too.
So a third down snap with 11 seconds. Bridgewater in trouble and decked at the 27 by Campbell, who's had a big first half for that Arizona defense.
Well, they got the timeout, and they can salvage something out of this drive. Campbell, they just get overpowered. It's another blitz, and Buchanan is back there also. But why do they blitz so much? Because they know if they don't blitz, they're going to have a hard time getting to the quarterback. They don't have a great edge rusher, and Campbell gets there. Why? He just overpowers blockers. Give him time, he'll get there.
Put the clock at 7 seconds. It'll be a 44-yard attempt for Blair Walsh, who's 24 of 29 on the year. His 5 misses have all come on the road. The hold by Locke. Kevin McDermott to snap it back. From the middle of the field, the Walsh kick is good to tie the game at 10. Well, there is a flag on the far sideline. And it's going to be offsides against Arizona, and the 5 yards wouldn't do anything as far as the Vikings' purposes, and 2 seconds to go. So it's going to be a non-factor here with the points on the board.
Offside. Defense number 28. That penalty is declined. He's on to the play. Successful field goal.
Well, they lined up in the neutral zone. You can see that. What I'm looking at, the fact that I know it's only 2 seconds. Mike Zimmer called that timeout a little too quick. You don't even want to give a chance of a return or anything for this Arizona team in a situation like this. But he's got to be happy with the effort, the desire, the emotion, everything that Minnesota has shown here in the first half.
Well, this Zimmer team at 8-4. He put it best, when telling us we still need one of those wins where people say, hey, they've arrived.
Yeah, put us on the map. I think that's just a couple things he said. Whatever, we always hear it. The prime time, what's your record in prime time, things like that. But he said, you're right. We need a victory against a team that people think, which everybody does, everybody thinks that Arizona is one of the best in the NFL, and they have failed. Green Bay, Seattle, just to name a couple, where they didn't come through.
So Walsh, no squib kick here. He'll just send the Cardinals out to the 20 for an expected kneel down. And remember, the Cardinals won the toss and received, so Minnesota will have that first possession on the other side of the half. The Vikings having put up 10 points, and it could have been more had it not been for the one fumble inside the red zone.
Well, they had a couple chances. I know this. All the Cardinal players talk about Bruce Arians, and he tells the truth. So we know what he's going to say at halftime to this football team.
So we reach halftime. Very good first half of action here. These teams tied at 10. And we'll be back with the Lexus halftime report after these messages. You're watching Thursday Night Football. We are back with a 10-10 game here in Glendale, Arizona. And let's check the first half game summary presented by the new Netflix original film, The Ridiculous Six, as Peterson took the handoff from Bridgewater on their first drive of the game. They marched 80 yards in 7 plays, kind of set the pace for the first half that they're going to come out and put that performance and the stench of that performance from Sunday behind them in a hurry.
I think that's what it was. Adrian Peterson only getting 8 carries last week, so we knew he was upset. His words, and we heard him last night. But really the story to me, the offensive line for the Minnesota Vikings, they've been physical, they've helped Adrian Peterson, and they've given Teddy Bridgewater time.
You want an even ball game at halftime? Check out these numbers. Check out the stats. I don't usually put this much merit into it, but a yard separation, 3-yard separation in passing yards. So the total's just a 2-yard difference. This is surprising because talking about the #1 team in the NFL on big plays, Arizona, and the Vikings have 4 to their 2 tonight.
Well, and the Vikings struggle with big plays. Why? Because they can't give their quarterback time. The offensive line hasn't dominated the way they hoped that it would this year. And tonight, terrific job in the first half, and I'm sure we're going to see some adjustments by Arizona's defense here in the second half.
So Patterson hopes to get a chance to have a handle here. He ranks behind only Gale Sayers all time in NFL kickoff return average at 29.8 yards per return. For Darrell, he's a dangerous threat in the return game. Hasn't been what they had hoped he would be when they drafted him in the first round in the passing game. Only a couple of catches on the season, but here we go. 10-10 game. A lot on the line here. Arizona with a win would clinch a playoff berth. And Minnesota coming into the week tied atop the NFC North at 8-4 with the Green Bay Packers.
Short.
Yep, from the goal line. Patterson. We said 29.8 was his career average. That was 29.1. And the kicker was the one who brought him down. Let's go down to Tracy.
Thanks a lot, Jim. Well, Hugh Arians told us yesterday they need to stop the run and pressure the quarterback. Well, he just told me a few minutes ago they're not doing either well. He said they have to improve on the play action pass. He also said they're being too aggressive. They need to use their eyes, have better discipline. Offensively, they need to finish drives. As for Mike Zimmer, he said they need to continue to rope and dope, Jim.
Yeah, that's a big thing he pointed out to us. We're going to have to manipulate the game, do a little rope and dope. That's what he called it. Trying to make up for all the players who are not here. Find out ways to scheme and put up a performance like we saw in the first half, and that's a big way to start the third quarter for this defense. Rashad Johnson, Buchanan also coming up early on Peterson for a loss of a couple.
Comes from the outside, Rashad Johnson, and if you don't like the way you're in the run game, the Arizona Cardinals, their answer to stopping it, just bring everybody up and crowd the line of scrimmage. Sorry, I drew the arrow a little too quick, but crowd the line of scrimmage, not enough guys to make the block. Johnson gets the tackle.
Second and 12. Pass pulled down by Thielen. First time we've had a chance to talk about Adam Thielen tonight. He's got a 6-yard catch.
Well, the one thing that we talked about it already, but you got to give a lot of credit. We talked about Teddy Bridgewater, where Tuesday after practice, he said to North Turner, can we do the period over again where they blitz and we try to pick it up? And they said, no, just relax, go sleep. And they worked on it yesterday, a big key in the first half, giving Bridgewater time because they picked up the blitzes.
Asiata back in, flanking the quarterback on this 3rd and 6 play. Cardinals are bringing it. Bridgewater got it away and completes it to Rudolph for the first.
Good blocking, good pocket for Teddy Bridgewater, and that's the matchup that we're seeing here tonight. Left side coming across the field is Kyle Rudolph against Tyrann Mathieu, and Rudolph so big. That's what Mathieu was worried about, is the fact that he would just kind of box him out. Bridgewater did a good job standing in there. Calais Campbell on the big hit.
3rd catch of the game for Rudolph. Goes for 8 and the first out at the 41. Might have been Arizona offsides as they knocked down Peterson.
That was Red Bryant, 71.
That was a big hit by Buchanan on Peterson.
Offside. Defense number 71. 5-yard penalty, replay, first down.
Well, you know, you look at Buchanan, plays inside like a linebacker. It's really unique, and I kind of watch and go, why don't more teams do this? Because they put such great speed, and it helps your blitzing and all that, because there's not many guys like him. He loves the contact. He's very explosive. And when they lost Darrell Washington, an all-pro linebacker, to suspension, they put him down there, and look, he's there to stay for sure now.
So 1st and 5 for the Vikings. The play action. Peterson picks up the blitz, allowing Bridgewater to again hook up with Rudolph.
Well, they can't get the ball outside as much as they want, but the one thing they're doing, they're getting it to 82 as he goes down the field and does the in cut to make the catch. Boy, Kyle Rudolph running well. Bridgewater with time, right on target again.
And again, he had time because Peterson absolutely picked it up on Kevin Minter. 14-yard play. Moves the sticks to the 40. And Peterson runs it out for another 5. NFL fans, order your holiday gifts from NFLshop.com today and save 15% at the official store of the NFL. NFLshop.com. Peterson now up to 58 yards on 14 carries. The bulk of the yardage coming on the opening drive of the game. Oh, he was trying to get the reverse, and the ball is fumbled and recovered by Arizona. Picked up by Okafor. They were in on Peterson so fast he was not able to execute the trick play. Morrow and Okafor make the plays. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by the Netflix original film, The Ridiculous Six. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Phoenix is home to the Musical Instrument Museum. Sweet music coming up here for Coach Bruce Arians, as his defense comes out, makes the play.
Josh Morrow, a defense that's very active. North Turner trying to go the reverse. We talked about that. Somewhere in the game he likes to do it. To settle a defense down, it backfired that time.
And Palmer was looking for the long ball and goes with the last option with a shovel pass to David Johnson. Greenway is on him, rides him down after 5.
Well, you said it right, looking for the long ball, and they look down the field a lot, and a good pull down. He's looking for Larry Fitzgerald. It's going to break outside. The coverage by Captain Munnerlyn is good. That's why he does not throw the football.
Might have wanted to look in the direction of John Brown, who was...
Well, the defender was reading the quarterback and the outcut. That's why he came off of it.
2nd and 5, and Johnson maybe has 2.
I think we talked to last night. We talked to Xavier Rhodes, number 29, defensive back, of course, for the Minnesota Vikings. He just kept talking about how many times they throw the ball deep down the field and along the sidelines. Just one-on-one. If you got man-to-man coverage, you got to expect that they're going to try to throw one deep on you sooner or later. Nobody back to help the offensive line block.
So Newman drop it back as a safety again. He's moved around in that secondary. 3rd and 3, pressure, and unable to take down Palmer, and he takes advantage. Finds an open David Johnson for the first.
Well, they try to play coverage. Carson Palmer is a big man, and he can stand in there with the best of them. They run a game inside. Griffin cannot get a hold of him. There's Kendricks, 54, slips. Palmer sees it and gets a big first down.
Quarterbacks combined in this game hitting over 80% of their passes. Run play on 1st down. And again, David Johnson. I mentioned earlier how Chris Johnson and Andre Ellington were both hurt a couple of weeks ago. Chris Johnson, when he got hurt, was actually the 4th leading rusher in the league. They put him on IR with the designation to return.
And when can he return?
The only time he could return would be the week of the Super Bowl. If they got to the Super Bowl, Bruce Arians said, we're going to honor him, his effort. And we'd bring him up and put him on the roster and we'd play him.
Pretty cool. Tells you a lot about Bruce Arians.
2nd and 8. That time, got a man, and it is broken up. 2 players converged on Brown, including Anthony Harris.
Anthony Harris is the one that makes the play. It's a good job. He's not in the middle of the field, but he sees the quarterback. He sees Brown going deep down the field. He comes across. The timing is perfect. That would not be a penalty. I'm going to ask Mike Carey because he was going for the ball, trying to make the catch.
Yes, the contact to the helmet was incidental, so that would not be a foul.
Thank you, Mike.
Ball actually looked more like a chance to be caught by Harris than it did by Brown, who was dinged and went to the bench. 3rd and 8. Stepping up and finding an open man. It's Michael Floyd, and he gets past the traffic for the touchdown. Larry Fitzgerald throws a block for him and then comes and celebrates.
Well, they make a mistake. The defense, I don't know what they were doing. Nobody to the outside on coverage. Carson Palmer, watch to the right. You're going to see all the defenders run into the inside. Carson Palmer, look at that. 2 open, uncovered receivers to the right. Does that say it all about Larry Fitzgerald? He does it in the run game and the pass game, a tremendous blocker.
Carson Palmer now has the Arizona record alone. His 31st touchdown pass of the year. 42 yards to Michael Floyd, who was raised in St. Paul, Minnesota, and attended Creighton-Durham Hall High School. Extra point makes it 7. All set up by this play by the defense, forcing the fumble. And then Carson Palmer to Floyd for the touchdown. Inside the NFL, that man on the right is a legend. Tom Moore, assistant head coach, his 51st year of coaching, 37th year in the NFL.
Saw him on the field before the game. He goes, man, isn't this great? That's what you live for. You work all those hours, you stay in the business, because game day, when you walk on the field, the excitement, it's worth all the hard work.
Well, his quarterback has just tied Tom Brady for most touchdown passes this season with his 31st. And it puts Arizona up 17-10 mid-third quarter. The Vikings, how will they respond now to Arizona's touchdown? They were moving the football with their first possession of the second half before turning it over. And they are all over Adrian Peterson. He has really been pretty much neutralized since the first quarter. That's a loss of 2, and his total for the game is at 50.
Well, they're playing situations. It's first down, so what are they doing? That time we saw Buchanan. He comes off the edge. Nobody can block him.
He had 39 of his 50 yards rushing in the first quarter.
So Minnesota's going to have to start mixing up first downs a little more to take advantage of the defense.
Here's a 2nd and 12 and a dangerous throw in the direction of Mike Wallace as Bethel was ready to jump that route.
Well, every play, it's something from this Cardinals defense. That time it was Tyrann Mathieu coming free, and he is so fast. And last week he made plays on the blitz. Here he comes, top of the screen. Boy, it's a good thing Teddy Bridgewater, what he's done well tonight, Jim, throwing the football on time and taking the pressure off this offensive line as much as he can.
He's got a 3rd and 12. Cardinals showing blitz again. They back off. Rush only 3. Bridgewater has to go to the safety valve, and Asiata is tripped up about 3-4 yards short of the first. Brought down by Fua after a gain of 8.
Well, as good as Minnesota's played, they made that big mental mistake on the touchdown that we just saw earlier. But Arizona, the point is Arizona just keeps the pressure on you with their passing game and the defense. We're seeing all the blitzes. Tough to deal with.
It's the first 3 and out for Minnesota since their 2nd possession of the game. And Peterson at the 25. Slips out at the hip and then falls down at about the 27.
Welcome back to Arizona. The score is 17-10. Yesterday, many of us were on hand at the Waste Management Phoenix Open Tee-Off Luncheon, where our Jim Nance was honored as one of the Thunderbirds at a special induction ceremony held yesterday. Jim joins a select group of 34 other individuals who have been named honorary Thunderbirds in the organization's history. Congratulations, Jim.
Well, you guys got me on that one. Oh, thank you for that. I was deeply honored. I love the Thunderbirds, this civic organization that gives up so much of its time for charity in the Phoenix area. $102 million they have pumped back into the Phoenix area to the many charities that they support. Just outstanding. Here's John Brown.
Well, let me say this. We were there at the luncheon. We came over to see our big man, and he gave a great speech. And, you know, I'll tell you, you were pretty funny. I mean, I'm not like I'm shocked, but it was pretty funny. You had some good chuckles, good time, great honor. You deserve it, and congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. And this golf tournament that's attached to it, the Waste Management Phoenix Open, is on Super Bowl weekend every year, and there's a whole lot of folks that hope that that weekend is going to be special, not only because of the golf event, but they're hoping that their football team's going to be up in Santa Clara on February 7th. Here's the 4th catch of the game for Fitzgerald. He's out to about the 43. Ran into Valdir first.
I was going to say, he didn't know if he's going to run over his own guys. Coming inside, watch number 68. Boom, hits him. Well, boy, great job by Valdir not falling down. Good balance. Screens, big part of the game. Carson Palmer throwing it without the laces, and Fitzgerald has done everything here tonight. This is the role they devised for him. They brought him in. Steve Keim, the general manager, Bruce Arians. It's a unique role, and he does it well.
First down from the 42. And they knock down Johnson quickly. Robinson. Fitzgerald with the 1,000 catches at the age of 32, the youngest by more than a year in the history of the NFL. Youngest by age to ever reach the 1,000 catch mark. And with what he's done here tonight, he just with that last reception inched ahead at the moment ahead of Jason Witten to 10th all time. We'll see Jason and the Cowboys a week from Saturday when they host the Jets on NFL Network. Oh, it's almost picked off. And you just wonder if Rhodes, with that injured wrist in the second quarter, if otherwise he would have been able to make the clean catch.
Rhodes, an aggressive corner. That's what they like about him. Mike Zimmer tells him to keep doing what he's doing. Had some penalties called against him, but he got off to a slow start on the first series. A couple throws his way, but since then, he has been all over whoever comes out to his side. That is a game changer. He catches it. He's going to walk to the end zone.
No question. 3rd and 9 instead. At the 5-minute mark in the third. Defender jumps up. And Palmer hangs in there and still gets it into the arms of Floyd for the first down. It was Terrence Newman who thought he had timed his jump just right.
Terrence Newman coming from the outside, and Carson Palmer, he actually said this to me. There's nothing like taking a hit from a defender, and when they hit you hard and you go to the ground, the defender turns around, looks, and you've completed the pass down the field. So that tells you about him. He's willing to stand in there no matter what the pressure is.
3 catches, 71 yards, and a touchdown for Floyd. And now long ball time. Knocked down. And again, it's Rhodes. They were trying to complete the pass to J.J. Nelson, the rookie out of UAB, who's come on of late. Again, next Thursday night, Tampa Bay at St. Louis. Thursday Night Football Special Edition on Saturday, December 19th. The Jets and the Cowboys only on NFL Network.
It's hard to believe. We saw the Thanksgiving Day game. Cowboys could still be in the playoff race when we go down there next Saturday night.
But really saved their season with the win at Washington last week. Here's Johnson. They had him for a loss. He got back to the line. What was their much needed win without Tony Romo? They finally came through against the Redskins.
Mike Zimmer said, going back to Xavier Rhodes dropping that interception, he goes, Carson Palmer's such an aggressive thrower of the football. He's going to give you a chance a couple times a game to make the play, and we saw one of them, and Minnesota didn't come up with it.
3rd and 10. Cardinals 5 out of 8 on 3rd. And I think he may have stepped out a little bit shy of it. He did. Floyd was his target for the second straight 3rd down play by the Cardinals. They got the last one by just enough, and he's a yard short this time.
Bringing in 3 tight ends, they're going to go for it, but you play off coverage to the outside against this offense. They're not afraid to throw it to the deep out cuts. Not many teams do it. The Cardinals do it well.
Really need a full yard here. Shipley lined up offset of the running back. And the running back gets it as Johnson powering ahead for the first.
Yeah, we've seen Shipley line up at fullback and a tight end position a little bit tonight a couple of times. And he was with Bruce Arians in Indianapolis, knows the offense. Jermaine Gresham down tonight, one of the tight ends, so Shipley filling in and doing a good job.
What do you think of David Johnson, what you've seen out of the rookie?
Very impressed. Listen, the thing about this team, running backs and receivers, they are deep, and everything that Bruce Arians said, we've seen here again tonight. Can do everything, catch it, can block, They can bounce the ball outside, too.
Newman was blitzing, pass away, and Floyd incomplete. So Newman has blitzed a couple of times on this series, and on both occasions very nearly got to the quarterback. Terrence Newman at 37. He's the oldest Viking.
Coming to the side, they bring two. They bring the linebacker and Newman. The Cardinals cannot pick it up. They rely on Carson Palmer to change the pass protections, but they also rely on him to do just that. Stand in there, make the throw as the pressure gets to you.
11th play of the drive on a 2nd and 10. Fells spins off the hit and appears to have the first. Week 14 of the season continues Sunday on CBS and Fox. And check your local listings for the game in your area. Another first down as the Cardinals are marching. Inside 2 minutes to go in the third. 16th carry of the game for Johnson. He breaks it inside the 10 and reaches for the pylon. They say touchdown. His 10th touchdown of his rookie season. This is going to be close. Rhodes with the last-ditch effort. Oh,
Down,
he's
yeah,
going to be down.
Didn't see, really couldn't tell if the knee hit, but it's going to be a good yard and a half, maybe 2 yards short.
Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Verizon. Watch live, local, and primetime games on NFL Mobile, included only on Verizon. Glimpse of the Herd Museum in Phoenix.
After review, the ruling on the field has changed. The runner was down. His knee is down and the ball is at the 2-yard line. Ball will be placed on the hash mark nearest Arizona sideline. First and goal from the 2, and the clock will start on my ready for play.
Well, you see the knee is down pretty clearly.
Great effort by Johnson.
Yeah, good, just a good run, nice and smooth, bounced it outside. Larry Fitzgerald once again, he's had a great impact tonight, blocking for his teammates to help him get big plays.
Right at the 2. Taylor is the tailback. And he gets the carry. Taylor bounces off a hit. Gets about halfway there. Harris coming over the top.
How about they
bring him down?
How about they bring Taylor in here near the goal line? And he's not a tall running back, 5'9", but about 215 pounds, and he can run with power.
Play 53 is eligible.
They mark him all the way back closer to the 2, so didn't give him much at all on that. Fitzgerald tight on the right side. Shipley in motion.
Sneaking across.
And there's Palmer taken down at the 9. Look at Griffin change things in a hurry.
Best pass rusher on this football team from Minnesota is Everson Griffin, coming from the left side, gets out, and his speed, once again, the depth of the quarterback being so deep, it was really hard for Valdir to keep him from getting around.
Oh, look at the face mask.
Boy, I didn't see it live. That was blatant. Missed by the officials. You know, I didn't even see Carson Palmer get up and complain.
No, not a bit. He's got a 3rd and goal near the 10. Got pressure again. And they're going to keep Arizona out of the end zone on this trip. Pass went to Taylor. That's going to be the end of the 3rd quarter. A field goal attempt will be the first play of the 4th. 17-10 Arizona. Back after these messages. Today's Next Gen Stats brought to you by Go 90. Watch the NFL on the go with Go 90. Go 90 to watch, cut, and share all the awesome. Jim Nance, Bill Sims, Tracy Wolfson, and Mike Carey, and all the crew, led by our producer Lance Barrow, director Mike Arnold, back home in the Phoenix area, Scottsdale raised, our Steven Spielberg directing the show here, who also went to high school in Scottsdale. Field goal is good to start the fourth. Just a chip shot, 23 yards. Catanzaro makes it a 10-point margin. And ever since the botched reverse play by the Vikings, which turned into a fumble and recovery, the Cardinals have put up 10 points, 123 yards to only 6 yards by the Vikings.
Well, I think Bruce Arians, you're right, Jim. It turned the game around, but I'm watching Bruce Arians on the sideline, and he is absolutely tearing into the offense for the failures down there. First and goal inside the 2. Having a little meeting, and he is hot. And of course, I would be too if I was a coach. First to go inside the 2.
That hat, you see, is kind of his trademark, and I know most of us are kind of accustomed to seeing it on Coach Arians. They call it here a Gatsby hat or a driving hat, but he's never actually been able to wear it in the game. He's been wanting to do that.
Yeah, not allowed to, but the NFL gave him permission tonight to wear it.
He's going to auction off
the
hat to charity that will go to the Arians Family Foundation to support underprivileged children.
But all the players talk about him, says it's hard to get used to, that he tells you exactly how he feels, but once you get over it, you always know where you stand. So it's a great way to coach football players.
Cordero Patterson still going. Nice effort by Patterson again. 41-yard return.
Well, he's so dangerous anytime he gets the football in his hands because of his speed, and he's just a great open field runner. But as I watch Minnesota's offense come out here on the field, Jim, what's going to be the first play? It has to be a play action. The first down runs, you've talked about Adrian Peterson, great success early. Hard to get those yards because they're crowding the line of scrimmage so much. The Arizona defense, there's nowhere to go.
They run it more on first down than any team in the league. This is something Coach Cowher talked about a lot during the pregame show, about how he'd like to see a little more play action on first down. But nope, it's going to go right back. And they had to reach to get the ball into the belly of Peterson. Close to a gain of 5. We'll give him 4.
I was really surprised it was a run, because as I look down at the formation, Adrian Peterson is about 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage. You don't see this at all. Look at the distance. No wonder Teddy Bridgewater's like, where are you? But Norv Turner not worried about the score. 20-10, still plenty of time. Staying with the game plan.
2nd and 6. Another run. This one good for the first down.
Man. Again, just Peterson getting more space to watch the defense. Really good double team on the right side that time by Minnesota. TJ Clemmings and Michael Harris doing a good job. When you want to run the football, they seem to run it right.
3rd straight run. He is the leading 4th quarter rusher in the league with nearly 400 yards in this quarter alone. And when he runs the football in the wins, it's what he averages, 126 a game in the wins. You saw quite a difference in the losses.
Yes, well,
and of course, that's all tied to what you've got to do to try to stay in a game.
Absolutely. When they're dominating the line of scrimmage, they're winning or close, they're going to run the football, the numbers go up.
Here's your play action. Yeah, it's Mike Wallace, who was his first catch. And he's got a gain of about 6 or 7.
What they did, they reestablished their running game again. So it's, hey, sitting up here, that shows patience by the play call, Norv Turner. And they got him thinking run. It was a blitz, or Jefferson up there close to the line of scrimmage. Bruce Arians said they're being too aggressive. That was a good case in point, letting the quarterback get outside the pocket.
Matthew threatening to blitz and then backs away. He's coming. First down. Bridgewater on the go, down the field, and a wrestle for the football. Incomplete. Diggs still held without a catch. Patrick Peterson has given him fits.
Yeah, it's been a rough night for Stephon Diggs, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. Patrick Peterson's shut down a lot of good receivers in the NFL, but he has been all over him every time that he's gone down the field. Good job of keeping Peterson from getting the interception. Boy, Patrick Peterson having a terrific year. They'll match him up against your best receiver.
Oh, look at Matthew. And just in case it was a fumble, which it wasn't, Rashad Johnson starts to take off with it. Matthew looked over his right shoulder. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe no, it's incomplete.
So fast. They use him a lot. I told you about it early in the game, how much he studies, the role he plays, really knows what's going on the other side of the football. And he's a tremendous blitzer because of that speed. And they don't back off on the defensive side.
Well, they're close to field goal range from here. They're down 2 scores. Here comes Matthew. Spin move to get away from him. Bridgewater. And the pass out of the pocket, out of bounds, incomplete. Looking at about a, 54-yard field goal try.
Well, even though he's not big, watch Matthew come in there and just hits Asiata so hard. Bridgewater breaks the pocket. The speed chases him down. He throws it away.
So Blair Walsh, who has a big leg, has a chance to bring it down to a 1-score game. It is 54. His longest of the year is 53.
Like this decision, no wind, great field.
Here's the kick, low driving kick it is, and it's good. 54 yards by Blair Walsh. Makes it a 7-point game. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Mazda, driving matters, and by Xbox One, the official game console of the NFL. The Museum of the West is located here in Scottsdale. The Cardinals would like to be the best in the West, the NFC West that is. They've got the 3-game lead coming into Week 14. Could clinch the playoff berth with a win tonight and could win the division with a win this evening, coupled with a Seattle loss on Sunday against Baltimore, if that happened. And 10-2 coming in, only the Carolina Panthers with a better record. The undefeated, I should say, Carolina Panthers. Let's take a look at next-gen stats presented by Go 90. We just watched the Cardinals defense, and they, a lot of times, Phil, they will go with a dime package. More than any other team in the league. 6 defensive backs.
Well, they started a defensive back at linebacker. That's why you see those stats so big for the Arizona defense. It makes the defense faster when you have that extra defensive back in there. They need that speed to get to the quarterback, and they can do it because their defensive line is so good at keeping offensive linemen off the linebackers and the extra defensive backs.
On first down, it's Kerwin Williams. He drives ahead for 7.
Well, Jim, let's go look at what Larry Fitzgerald has done tonight. Down the field, sails the outside route. How about that throw and timing? Going up, the blocking. He's had a great night blocking. Just occupies the defensive guy. And then how about this block down the field? This ring bells for the touchdown. So, boy, to say he's accepted his role and excels in it is an understatement.
2nd and 3. And the Vikings plug it up. Be about a yard shy, but when you visit with Larry Fitzgerald, he wanted to talk about Carson Palmer. He wanted to tell us all about how this team feels that Carson is the MVP of the NFL. And then he reflected on how last year when Carson got hurt, he showed his commitment to this team. All these practices and being around in all the meetings, even when he was out and hurt, he said, this is going to be a special season come 2015, said Fitzgerald, because of the effort by Palmer, even going back a year ago. While injured. 3rd and 1. Oh, the Vikings are able to make the stop.
Well, A.Q. Shipley going inside, and there's nowhere to go. On the outside, that was Anthony Harris. Squeezed it in there. They crowd the line of scrimmage. Good job by Harris. Nowhere for Johnson to run that time.
And it was Kendricks because Harris forced it inside. Kendricks, the rookie from UCLA, who finished it off. Look at that. Almost past Butler. And he hits the deck. There is no flag. Now there's a flag here at the end where it was caught by Sherrills. And he's finally tackled at the 44. But there is a flag some 30 yards back of that. Daniil Hunter almost took advantage of a snap that sailed a little bit. Butler then got it away for a 49-yard boot. Britton Golden is the one down.
Holding number 21 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down, Minnesota. Timeout.
Wipes out the big return by Sherrills. Britton Golden going through some tests on the bench, shaken up on the punt return. The penalty, the first of the game against the Vikings on the return, cost them 43 yards. And we have 10 minutes to play. Vikings down 7. That's Peterson squeezing out about 3. Mentioned a few times how Patrick Peterson has given Diggs just fits tonight. No catches for the leading receiver on the season for Minnesota.
Well, that's why very few teams in this league have the phrase shutdown corner, but the Arizona Cardinals have one. That's Patrick Peterson. Tremendous job. Teddy Bridgewater really doesn't even look over that way, only a couple times all night, because there's other matchups on the field that favor him a lot better than that matchup outside.
Here's Diggs' first catch, and he's able to get 10 out of it. Looks like they'll spot it for the first.
It's just a great way to get a wide receiver into the game. Jarius Wright gets the block on Peterson. And Khalil, the lineman, number 75, the left tackle, gets down, and that was a big first down for the Minnesota Vikings.
Needed 7, got 7. Finally getting the football in his hands on the 6th target of the night for Stephon Diggs. First down, play action, and loading it up. And the receiver falls down. It was Mike Wallace. Bethold was defending. We got a flag down in the area where the football was thrown.
Well, it's holding on Patrick Peterson. That time grabbed the jersey of Diggs.
There are 2 fouls on the defense prior to the pass holding. Defense number 21, that penalty is declined. Also, personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 94, 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Xavier Williams, rookie from Northern Iowa, got the hit to the head on Bridgewater and cost him 15, brings the football to the 37.
You know, people say it doesn't look like much, so you don't want to get into judgment calls and say, oh, he didn't hit him that hard. If you make contact to the helmet of the quarterback while he's in the pocket, that's a foul.
Look at Matthew run up and run around to the other side to get to Peterson. And a loss of a couple. After the postgame, the moment the Giants moved to Jersey and the season, it all paid off. The Timeline, a new NFL Network original series. Tonight after the postgame, only on NFL Network.
Tyrann Mathieu timing the blitzes so well has affected the passing game and the run game for the Vikings.
It makes it 2nd and 12. That's Peterson. He had Williams, a defensive lineman, trying to chase after him. He's got his first catch of the game, and it goes for 17.
Well, it's up inside Alex Okafor, right in Teddy Bridgewater's face. Nice job of just staying relaxed. Knows the short receiver Peterson's coming across the field and put it on target.
Gonna hand it off to him. And he's unable to sidestep the hit of Buchanan.
This is a time right here. You look, Jim, 7:26 to go in the game. You're calling the plays. You got to have in the back of your mind that you might go for it on 4th down, so that can affect what you do here as far as maybe run the football.
The chase. That was Golden coming in on Bridgewater.
Or a play action. They were trying to get everybody moving one way and throw it back across the field to Jarius Wright. But good discipline that time.
Was there a face mask here? Did they miss another one? Golden. Well, we saw something a whole lot less than that called last Thursday night.
Well, Teddy Bridgewater looking to see the officials. But nobody open as he was looking down the field, and I think the face mask really, that would distract you, of course, from doing your job.
3rd and 9. Missed one of those for each side now. Blitz, pass, Wallace, got to make a move for the first and does. Cuts back to the inside and then speeds it up to about the 24. Able to juke out Corey White.
Nobody in the middle of the field. Here comes the linebackers. Wallace goes across, and there's nobody underneath. And what happens? Jefferson's covering, but gets picked by his own guy. That's why Mike Wallace uncovered.
First down run. Peterson around Bethel. Looked like maybe another hand inside the face guard. There is a flag down, and Peterson able to take it for about 10.
Holding. Offense number 79. 10-yard penalty replay. First down.
That's Michael Harris, the right guard, who has had a good night.
There was no face mask. It was fast approaching, but Bethel didn't get a hand in there. But the key here, the penalty backs them to the 34. And a 1st and 20. Breaking the tackle. That's Line going. Zach Line. We have flags out. Might be a holding call against Arizona.
I think it is. It's against Patrick Peterson.
Prior to the pass, holding defense number 21. Penalty is declined. The result of the play, first down.
They turn down the penalty on Peterson. They take the 24-yard play to the fullback Zach Line.
Grab the jersey, good call, but they love these play actions, and it's a late release by Zach Line, and then, hey, he just lowers the head, and everybody goes for the big hit. Nobody got their arms out to ramp him up, and that's why he rumbled down there for the few extra yards.
1st and goal. Peterson. Minter on him. But he's got 3. A drive that started back at Minnesota's 12. They've already escaped a 3rd and 9 on this drive and a 1st and 20 situation.
Boy, just a tremendous effort by this offense tonight. The offensive line and being ready for a defense that's complicated, fast, blitzes a lot. But they've not taken advantage of all the opportunities, Jim. Of course, you're not going to do that when you're playing a good defense. Could be 4-down territory.
And 2nd and goal. Bridgewater's throw heavily influenced on the pressure. He got knocked down, released it in the area of Diggs. It was Campbell again who broke through and got near him.
93. Good job. Gets around Brandon Fusco. Teddy Bridgewater does a good job just throwing it away.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting if they don't get it here. What they would do is we have 5 minutes left in the game on a 4th down. What would they do? Let's see first, though, this pivotal play. This is Rudolph territory. Third and goal. Bridgewater to the end zone for the touchdown. Mike Wallace.
All-out blitz. Justin Bethel on the coverage. But Teddy Bridgewater did a good job. Wallace coming all the way across the field. Watch everybody blitz. And boy, you just can't fight your way through it. That's the problem when you're blitzing and you're playing man coverage. And Teddy Bridgewater said it last night. If they're going to blitz, we got to have players crossing the field. And we've seen a couple big plays because of that.
That's just the 2nd touchdown of the season for Wallace, who began his career at Pittsburgh. His first 3 years in the league, his coordinator was Bruce Arians. And his biggest play of his career came here as a member of the Steelers. Here's the chance to tie it, which Walsh does. Yet Wallace had a 95-yard touchdown from Roethlisberger here in a game in 2011. But he's this one tonight. Ties it in the 4th, 10 unanswered by Minnesota. Tonight's Skycam is being presented by Mazda, the 101st consecutive sellout at this stadium right alongside Highway 101. And this is the site of the College Football National Championship, which will be played January 11th. Clemson or Oklahoma, Michigan State or Alabama will be crowned champion here, and just a month and a day away. 2020 game with 4:55 to play. Kerwin Williams makes the decision to take it out, and he's 4 yards short of the 20. Well, Arizona had a 10-point lead here in the 4th, but the Vikings come back to tie it. The wobbly Scott Crichton taken to the bench. Cardinals start this drive, this crucial drive from the 16. Game square at 20 with 4:50 to go. Flags are down as the pass is intercepted. Thrown right in the arms of Waynes. Waynes on the run back, just inside the 20 to the 18.
Offside. Defense, number 73. 5-yard penalty, replay. First down.
Sharif Floyd, the nose tackle with Linval Joseph out, took over his position. Number 3, hard count, gets in the neutral zone. Carson Palmer cannot like the fact that Michael Floyd kind of stopped on the route, because, yeah, you think it's an offsides on the defense, but still got to be careful with the football. Can't give up because you think the football is not coming your way.
1st and 5. David Johnson, he might have the first down. He's near it. Let's check in on our players carrying mics tonight.
Hey, we need one. We need one, dog. Come on. Hey, come on. Suck it up. Suck it up.
Hey, we just got to do us. We got 10 minutes.
Let's not survive this game, man. Let's win this game. Not survive it, let's win it.
So the run by Johnson was enough for the first. And the rookie is met quickly by Anthony Harris and maybe was able to manage a yard.
Well, you know, Mike Zimmer, even with all the guys down on the defensive side, said, look, we just won't sit back there tonight. We're still going to take our shots. And that time they played the run. And you said it, Anthony Harris comes outside unblocked.
This defense we've mentioned so many times, so decimated by injury, has held up reasonably well here tonight.
I think so. They got to be happy with the way they played.
Can they do it the last 3.5? On the field, it is pulled in by Floyd. Picks up 22.
Timing, trust, that's what it takes. Michael Floyd on the outside. Look at the safeties and watch Carson Palmer, how he throws it before the receiver's ready. Sorry, Michael Floyd was in the slot, but he has to throw it over the top of the linebackers in front of the safeties. And Carson Palmer can throw the most beautiful spiral there is in the NFL.
Floyd over 100 with that catch. 5 catches, 102 and a touchdown. Trying to go back to him, and it is caught off the tip by an Arizona lineman. It's Upati.
It's a running play. Carson Palmer is going to take advantage and throw the quick route. It's knocked up in the air, and the left guard, Upati, catches it.
Robinson was the one who batted it into the air. It hit then another player, Floyd, on the helmet.
How about Upati? That's knew what to do with it once it was in his hands.
It's a first down from the 41. Slashing across the middle. And bring us to the 2-minute warning. Fitzgerald with the catch. As they inch into field goal range here. 1:58 to go. Thursday Night Football was brought to you by Bridgestone. Your journey, our passion. And by Pepsi and Buffalo Wild Wings. Grab a Pepsi, catch a game. We sent along our best wishes to our friend, our dear friend, John Madden. Just announced today that he recently had open heart surgery. Released from the hospital today, back home. And we look forward to seeing you, John, during the Super Bowl week up in the Bay Area. Wishing you all the best from your pals here. 2nd and 6. Palmer, the great fake, the pass, though, well defended. Again, it was Terrence Newman along with Kendricks. Pass intended for Fells.
Terrence Newman running off the field after that play.
3rd down's coming up next Thursday again. Tampa Bay and St. Louis. That's on Thursday. Then a special Saturday edition. Jets at the Cowboys. Saturday, December 19th.
Carson Palmer tried to really force it in there that last throw. Good play by Newman and the linebacker to knock it down.
Third and 6. Palmer's pass to an open target. It's David Johnson. Now, had that been incomplete, they would have had to call on a field goal from about 54, 55 yards. But now they're 14 yards closer.
Johnson out of the backfield, and it took Kendricks too long to get off the receiver and pick up the running back. And, you know, I think they would have punted the ball on 4th down, Jim, instead of kicking a field goal, but it doesn't matter. Now Minnesota in this situation, after this play, they need to use their timeouts.
Yeah, they both have all their 3 timeouts. Probably what you're suggesting would not have wanted the risk of the miss to set up the Vikings had it not gone their way. Look at Kerwin Williams, though, back it up all the way to the 31 or 32. And timeout called by Minnesota. That running play, Phil, lost 8.
Well, it was the penetration. They had Larry Fitzgerald on the edge trying to get a block. Watch to your left. Fitzgerald, nowhere to go. And that time, Kerwin Williams should have stayed inside. He was trying to bounce it outside, made his decision too quick. And by trying to go outside, nowhere to go, and cost the loss of yards.
Coming up after the game, the Mazda post-game show. Interviews and analysis of tonight's game coming up on the Mazda post-game show. So the 8-yard loss set up a field goal, if you will, from what went from 41 to 49, although it's still just a second down play. So Palmer trying to make up ground here on this snap. And he goes to the ground with it. If they took a timeout the last time, they should take another one here.
Yeah, they will. And, you know, I always believe take the timeouts, keep the time on the clock, and let your offense negotiate around it. In other words, that determines what you call and how you execute plays. And if you try to save those timeouts, too much time goes off the clock. The timeouts are worthless.
Gives Palmer a chance to have a chat with Bruce Arians and backup quarterback Drew Stanton, who is as much into the game as any backup quarterback you'll see in the league.
Yeah, he is animated, always talking to Carson Palmer with Bruce Arians. And you know, that last call, why'd they run it? They want to ensure the fact that they get in range where they can make the field goal a little easier. I would think they'll be aggressive with this play call here, trying to pick up.
Yeah, from here, if they don't gain anything, it would be 47 yards. Palmer up top, and it is incomplete. There were two Cardinals in the area. Fitzgerald almost came down with it, but Nicholas was making a play on the catch at the same time.
Tight end was going down the middle. Looked like a little confusion, but this is a play they love. Really don't know who he was throwing the football to, if it was to the tight end or to Larry Fitzgerald.
Well, the incompletion stops the clock with 1:28 to go and brings out Catanzaro.
And why you throw it? They threw it there, Jim, try to pick up the first down, win the game. But if they just ran it, the Vikings would have used their timeout, but they had plenty of time to still get down in field goal range to tie the game up.
Chandler Catanzaro, second year from Clemson. Look at this kid. Dead perfect. He notched his first game-winning field goal a few weeks ago on a 32-yarder with 6 seconds remaining to beat Seattle.
Well, excellent kick. You go back to that drive, the third down conversion to Carson Palmer to David Johnson. And you know, another big play in that drive was
Upati.
Upati.
And by the way, the winning kick, that was against Cincinnati, not Seattle, which they had beaten the week before. They had been playing under the lights back-to-back weeks and had an impressive win against Seattle. Then they came back here and beat Cincinnati on the kick by Catanzaro. But the incompletion there, Phil, on third down leaves Minnesota time plus a timeout.
That's right. Well, you said it. We were told it last night. Mike Zimmer, man, we're looking for that win. That one big win against a top-flight team to maybe give this team a spark where they, hey, yeah, you win this game tonight, that'll be some spark. That'll carry you through the rest of the year.
No chance for Patterson, who's had a couple of nice returns tonight. Last time the Vikings won a road game when trailing by at least 10 in the fourth quarter. Goes all the way back to 1985 when they beat the Eagles. They actually were trailing 23-0 in the fourth quarter of that game before winning at 28-23. This is a team that has won 4 consecutive on the road. But they've got now 123 with 1 timeout.
Well, it's a known passing situation. This is where Minnesota's offensive line, of course, it struggled. It did last week when they got behind. Can they protect Bridgewater tonight?
Cardinals rush 4. Turnaround move. Works for Diggs. Look at that slash. But eventually the Cardinals cut off the angle and hold him to 5, and the clock runs.
Yeah, but it was a quick throw for Teddy Bridgewater because there was a free rusher coming right at him.
One of the rushers is Dwight Freeney, the 7-time Pro Bowler at Indianapolis, doing his famous swing move. There's the pass to Rudolph.
Oh, yeah.
Got the first down.
Spin move, he used it, but they were ready for it and blocked it.
Again, after the game, the Mazda post-game show. Interviews and analysis of what's been a good one here in Glendale, Arizona, and has 52 seconds remaining in regulation. On first down, here they come, and they get him. The sack by Tony Jefferson. And the Vikings have to take their final timeout.
Well, the situation gets not afraid to keep pressuring number 22. Jefferson coming all the way around from the outside. Nobody open. Teddy Bridgewater has to hold the football. And there Jim goes back where all these extra defensive backs, they come into play. They don't have that one pass rusher to take advantage of situations like this. That's why they use defensive backs and blitzes to get to the quarterback.
Vikings need about 35 yards to give Blair Walsh a chance. They have to go the rest of the way without a timeout. Pulled down. Rudolph, can he get to the sideline? No, he takes on the defender at the 42. And they hurry to the line.
Got to kill the clock. That's the thing to do. Don't try to run a play. It takes too long.
There were Cardinal defenders coming on the field when that ball was snapped.
Twelve men on the field, defense. 5-yard penalty, replay, first down.
And look how many people, 12 guys.
Weatherspoon trying to come off, Minter trying to come on. The ball was snapped, and they drew the flag, and now they're up to the 47.
In a hurry up, which Minnesota is in. Hard to substitute on the defensive side.
Last week, the Vikings watched, as many did across the country, in disbelief as their division rival Green Bay pulled off the Hail Mary at Detroit. You can imagine that Aaron Rodgers and McCarthy and company are watching this one with the team they're tied with in the north, and suddenly the Vikings are in range, field goal range that is, as Wright makes the catch.
This is the story of the game. The offensive line, the blitz pickup. Here they come inside. Two blitzers. Bridgewater has the space, the time. And then when you're asking your defensive backs to constantly try to cover one-on-one down the field, that's tough to do.
23 seconds to go from here. Who would demand a 49-yard field goal? Bridgewater better watch that play clock. Got it away just in time. From the pocket. Sideline incomplete.
Nobody open. Arizona defense aggressive the last couple plays in the drive. Jim allowed the big play down the field to Jarius Wright. And you've already seen one long field goal made by Minnesota. So on the defensive side, your first job, don't give up the touchdown. Play smart. Don't be over aggressive.
Yeah, Walsh made one from 54 early in the quarter. Thrown away this time. And we're down to 13 seconds.
And that's what they did. They dropped everybody back and said, if you want to throw it short, go ahead. Yeah, just watch everybody going back. They know the time on the clock. This is what you do. Teddy Bridgewater can't find the decision quick enough and throws it away.
Third down coming up, and you cannot, again, throw it in the field of play. With no timeouts. Can't take a sack either. The ball comes out. Was it a pass or a fumble? Ruling on the field as a fumble and a recovery by Campbell. It was Freeney who hit him.
Dwight Freeney, where's he been all night? He's been resting for just this situation.
Let's see if there's any chance the arm was going forward.
I don't think so, Jim. I could see it all the way. Dwight Freeney, his patented spin move. They all said to me, this Arizona Cardinals team, hey, you can just bet when he gets in the game, he is going to set it up and use the spin move. Second time he used it, the second time a charm causes the fumble.
And wins the game. Larry Fitzgerald. He knows it's over. He knows that was a game-winning play.
They picked him up. That just shows you what they've done here. They got great depth. They picked up Dwight Freeney just for situations like that, giving speed, a little power, and that spin move at the end of the game when you need it.
Freeney in his 14th year, just signed on October the 13th. Now what a time for the veteran to make his presence felt, and the Cardinals are playoff bound. They are in with the win. It's their 7th straight victory, too, their longest win streak for the franchise since 1974. And there they are now at 11-2. Their last 3 remaining games. At Philadelphia. Green Bay comes here on what will be Carson Palmer's birthday on December 27th.
Still enough speed from Dwight Freeney and power to confuse an offensive lineman when you're blocking him one-on-one. A lot of playmakers on this Cardinals football team on both sides of the ball, and Dwight Freeney pulls it out for him.
Cardinals close out the season hosting Seattle. They will be playing in January other than just week 17. Clinching a playoff berth with the victory, Arizona, 7 straight wins, 23-20 final score. Coming up next, the Mazda post-game show. For Phil, Tracy, and Mike, Jim Nance saying so long from Glendale. You've been watching Thursday Night Football.